So hello guys, what's up and welcome back to my YouTube channel. It's me, your girl barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I know. At some point on our channel, I was giving you guys back to back, following up on the case of Senator NATASHA and Senate President AKPABIO. But at some point, I was just like, oh my God, I don't want to see this case again. Just go. I could not deal with the unbelievability of what was transpiring before my very eyes. It was so hard for me to contain. I just couldn't absorb anymore. For the sake of my sanity, please, people that are so invested in Nigerian politics or politics of some African countries that causes palpitation of the heart, how do you guys cope? How do you eat? How do you sleep? How do you guys manage? You know that feeling that people that love Nigeria, people that truly love Nigeria, how we felt during that NSAS protest and aftermath. During the last presidential election, you know that feeling? As if you are going to die. That feeling of watching impunity happen before your very eyes while you are saddled with hopelessness and helplessness. Whew! It is not an easy state to be in. But hey, whatever be the case, I am back. And I am here to give you all the gist and everything that has transpired since we last spoke about the case. Stay strapped. And if you're new here, you're seeing my face for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. Let us proceed. When Honorable NATASHA approached the Inter-Parliamentary Union, I told you guys all about that, for their intervention in this matter of what she termed her illegal suspension. Honorable Kafilat Ogbara, a member of the House of Representatives, came out to release a press statement debunking Senator NATASHA's claims that her suspension was as a result of or a direct consequence of the allegations she leveled against the Senate President.
I've been mandated by the Nigerian National Assembly to present a response to Senator NATASHA Akpoti-Uduaghan's speech delivered yesterday at the 69th session of the United Nations Commission on the Status of Women. In response to the call by the President of the Inter-Parliamentary Union, IPU Right Honorable Tulia Axen, to hear both sides of the matter. In the spirit of transparency and fairness, I now wish to read this letter from the Senate in its entirety. Senator NATASHA Akpoti-Uduaghan was suspended for gross misconduct and unruly behavior, and not as a result of allegation of sexual harassment or assault.
My dear brothers and sisters, have you observed a perfect strategy in all of these things? A well-crafted pattern that it is mostly women that are being used to counter or to attack Senator NATASHA, just so it can look neutral. So it wouldn't look like, oh, because women just occupy, is it 2% of the total seats in the House? This is an attack on women. No. So women are now the ones being deployed and used to counter her, to contradict her, and to attack her. So it will look like, oh, even women too don't support her. Women are not in support of what she's doing. It's not a matter of female oppression. But Madam Kafila, excuse me, ma. Just excuse me. It's just a small question. Is it still this our Senate House, where verbal abuse, physical confrontation, even blow to blows happen in that house? Throwing of chairs and banters at the order of the day. Is it that same house or another one that is now being treated as the cathedral, a holy sanctuary, where a senator is suspended for 6 whole months without any entitlement because of sitting positions? Because if our memory does not fail also, we remember clearly that this same our uncle, this same Senate President, was roaring and tearing his shirt in that same Senate. And guess the irony of it? Because of the same sitting position. That is why this same uncle Senator AKPABIO was found roaring like a lion in that same Senate, was he suspended?
Go to your seat. Then when you get your seat, I will recognize you.
I sat next to Senator Kwankwaso until I was led by the sergeant at arms that this is my seat.
I asked the clerk whether he allocated that seat to you. He said he didn't.
He told me he would prefer to sit here. So I said there is no microphone there, but he said he would still prefer to sit there.
If there's been a senator that have allowed to speak without a microphone, state. That's never happened in this chamber. All we said is there's no microphone where you are. Go to a place where there's one and you can speak. Now you have the floor. Speak and let us make progress.
Even just yesterday here, after the suspension of Senator Natasha, there was a shouting match, a wild altercation and a disruption of Senate sitting in that same house. That was after a disagreement following the debate on a motion whether former INEC chairman, should be immortalized or not. There was a major shouting altercation in that house. Which one of them has been suspended? So now we look like small pickings. We now look like babies that just got out of diapers, selling the idea that it's sitting position and disruption that is causing all of this hammer that is being slammed on Senator Natasha. Really? It's all right if you say so. Who are we to dispute? Still on this same matter of sexual abuse and abusing of women, former vice president of Nigeria and former presidential candidate at the last general election has come out to give his own point of view on this allegation against the Senate president. He said,
reports that when AKPABIO was a governor, he was corrupt.
He was corrupt. Not only he was corrupt, but he was also in the habit of women.
Yeah. No be me talk, no be Senator Natasha talk. They say allegedly na for poor man. Na poor men like me and you. They use allegedly. Rich men no they use allegedly. They don't they fear court case. Uncle ATIKU here said it with his full chest though. He didn't even use the word allegedly, meaning if you say it's not true, come out and challenge these words of mine. It's all right. While Senator Natasha was away in the United States, where she went to attend that Interparliamentary Union meeting, she, through her legal counsel, swiftly filed a fresh suit against Senate President AKPABIO for contempt. Contempt of court simply means disobeying or disobedience of a court order or a court ruling. Now, prior to Senator Natasha's suspension on the 4th of March 2025, a federal high court there in Abuja had issued an interim injunction restraining the Senate from proceeding with any disciplinary actions against Senator Natasha. Calm down, I will explain. An injunction is an order of the courts, either mandating somebody to do something or refraining somebody from doing something. So it's an order saying, oh yeah, stop, hold it, bar break first. So for example, if somebody is always bringing their animals to come and graze in your farm and mess your farm up, and you want to sue the person for damages for the loss of your crops, you can also bring an action for injunction where the courts will now give an order, an injunction to that person, refraining them from ever coming into your farm again to cause damage. Because if you just sue for damages, it means that the person can pay you damages and still come back tomorrow. So most of these suits will come with an order of injunction stopping further damage to be done. That is what an injunction means. In law, there are different types of injunctions, but I will just discuss one, the one that Senator Natasha obtained against the Senate. It is called an interim injunction or an interlocutory injunction. An interim or interlocutory injunction is an injunction that is issued by the courts in the middle of a case. It doesn't substantially determine the whole case, but it's a temporal injunction given before the final determination of the suit. It temporarily restrains somebody from doing something for a limited time until the finalization and the hearing and determination of the whole matter. I'll give you an example so you can understand even better. So there is a case of land ownership. There is a case of a tussle of land ownership. Now me get this land. Now my papa give me this land. Now me, I don't buy them from your papa before he give you. Who owns this land? Okay? And a party runs to court. Court to come and help us weigh this up. Come and help us make this decision. Oh, who gets this land? That is the primary bone of contention, right? If one party is seeing now that the second party wants to run and go and sell that land, even before the court determines ownership, that party can run to the court and say, Oga court, oh, see what this man wants to do. Oh. We have not decided ownership of the land. This man wants to run and go and sell the land. Please grant an interim or interlocutory injunction refraining him from passing title in this land, because if he passes it and his title ends up being defective, things for don't spoil already. It will now be too late. So please grant an injunction stopping him first until the end of this suit. If you now decide that, oh, it is him that owns this land, he can go ahead, but he should not sell this land before the determination of the main suit. And the court will say, what you are saying makes sense. Oh yeah, I grant this injunction. Maintain status quo to prevent irreparable or irredeemable loss or harm. So, back to this matter. I hope you're learning. Begin to give this video a thumbs up if you are getting something. So, on this Senator Natasha's case, after that confrontation at the Senate, she knew what was coming. That lady is a very intelligent woman. She's not only bold, audacious, and courageous, she's highly intelligent. She knows how to go ahead of her enemies. You don't see her coming. She'll take you by surprise. She sensed that an unlawful suspension will be coming, and she quickly approached the court, asking it to grant this interim injunction that the Senate President and the Senate should not proceed with any disciplinary action until the court hears the whole matter. This order was granted, and this order was defied. And some people are wondering, the senators know the highest level of lawmakers. If the senators are disobeying and disregarding and defying court rules and orders, what will the common man now do now? And so for defiling this court order, Senator Natasha has instituted an action in court against the Senate President, the Clerk of the National Assembly, the President of the Ethics Committee, suing them for contempt of the court, arguing that her suspension constitutes a willful disobedience of the court order. This matter is still in court. If anything comes out of it, I would let you know. The next thing Honorable Senator Natasha did, oh my God, that woman, she's just fearless and unstoppable. She petitioned the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee seeking the disbarment of Senator Imasren, the chairman of the Senate Committee on Ethics, Privileges and Public Petitions, the man that spearheaded her suspension. Following news that this our head of ethics, Naija, I hail thee. Oh my God. This our senator that is heading the body that is supposed to ensure compliance, ethical conduct, following the news that he has previously been found guilty in the US of fraud and misappropriation of a client's funds. Of client's funds. He was allegedly found guilty and disbarred in the US and came to Nigeria to become head of ethics. Following that news that made it out, Senator Natasha petitioned the Legal Practitioners Disciplinary Committee, asking them that, are you aware that one of your members is a convicted felon in the US? Get him disbarred immediately because he is a disgrace. That case is still pending before the disciplinary committee. If anything comes out of it again, be sure that I will let you know. Next thing Senator Natasha did was raise serious alarm that there were plans to get her arrested immediately she returns to Nigeria from the IPU meeting, the Interparliamentary Union meeting. And people were like, arrest? What is the matter? What offense? What crime did she commit? Is it a criminal offense to go to the IPU as a senator? Before we could even digest that, news got out that the DSS, the Department of State Security, that is an equivalent to the Secret Service of the United States that deal with counter-terrorism and foiling assassination attempts on the president. The DSS and the NIA, the National Intelligence Agency, had initiated an investigation into Senator Natasha's attendance of the IPU. Oh my God, whoever needs a comedy show when they can just observe Africa politics? Oh my God. Africa politics, you guys are going to drive Night of 1,000 Laughs out of business, I tell you. The DSS were said to have launched an investigation into Senator Natasha's attendance of the Interparliamentary Union, that they were investigating how she managed to secure access into the event without prior invitation and nomination, whether authorized credentials were used, whether she breached IPU regulations or National Assembly protocols. That is what the DSS wash hand kwaka nalo. While headsmen are destroying the country and kidnappers are showing off their ransom on TikTok. Hey! But you see, this woman, Senator Natasha, I lack the words to describe her. If you do, please begin to drop down in the comment section. Some people have been describing her as woman king, but it's not in my habit to describe women as kings. Kings are kings, okay? Kings are our men, our odogu. There is no man that is doing so well that is called a queen, right? So I believe that women should be queens. That position is powerful enough. We are queens, we are not kings. Leave the kings on the men. Some people have called her woman king, some people have called her all sorts of names. If you have a name to describe this lady, please drop down in the comment section. But this woman is one of a kind. Because it is not easy to be strong in the face of adversity. It is not easy for the world to be against you, for your people to be against you, for you to be standing alone on the other side of the divide, and yet you stand firm. It is a rare trait. Even in school or at the office, where it seems like your colleagues in the office have ganged up against you, you know how cold you feel there, how miserable you feel. Or where you are in school, you're in university, and everybody does click and you are alone. You know how miserable you feel, because everybody has that feeling of wanting to fit in. Acceptance, wanting to be accepted. It's almost like a human feeling. But for people like this, that even if the world is talking against them, they still stand firm in their belief and their resolve. It is not an easy trait. People like that are very rare, especially in countries of hypocrisy like Nigeria. So she knew that she is greatly outnumbered, and she has been told to shut up. She has been told to keep quiet. She has been told to stay silent, apologize, and let this thing go. But she knows that speaking up is the fastest way to overpower an aggressor. That voicing out is one of the greatest tools to overcome an oppressor. Oppressors thrive in silence. The moment you speak up, you have disarmed them. You have disrupted their control over you. And you have passed the message that you are not a candidate for oppression. And so she kept speaking up. She went to Sky News to speak her truth.
He made an allegation of sexual harassment against the President of Nigerian Senate, Senator Godswill Akpabio, on the 5th day of March 2025, and the very next day I was suspended for 6 months. I believe my suspension was illegal, it's unjust, and it's just a way of silencing me.
The Nigerian Senate has stated that your suspension is not related to the allegations that you've made of sexual harassment or assault, but due to gross misconduct and unruly behaviour on your part, firmly refuting what they call the deliberate misinformation and false narrative being circulated regarding your 6-month suspension.
Anna, yes, they did mention that I was suspended on accounts of gross misconduct. But can they please provide exactly what the gross misconduct is that amounts for 6 months suspension the day after I submitted a petition? I was suspended because of that petition, not because of any gross misconduct. Let's talk about the gross misconduct that have happened in the Nigerian chambers. I was only told to move, and I refused to move my seat because I deserve to be notified. I deserve to be given a chance to explain why I should retain my seat. But you see, I have seen in that chambers where men fight, where senators throw items at each other, curse each other, shout at each other, you know, but they were not suspended. Why? Because they are men? You know, there's this culture of silence, harassment, and fear, intimidation that...
She went to BBC.
We were at his country home. He was taking me around his house. My husband was walking behind us, held my hand. He then squeezed my hands in a very suggestive way. We're women, we know what it means when a man squeezes our hands in a suggestive way. And he went, now that you're in the Senate, I will make an opportunity for us to come here and have a good moment, you know. Along that line. I am being victimized. My suspension is a means of silencing me.
She refused to be silenced. She kept speaking. When it became obvious that Senator Natasha was not stopping, at least anytime soon, and due to the heavy backlash that she experienced, something funny happened. Senator Ireti Kingibe, who is one of the very few female senators in the House, who obtained her mandate to even enter that position in the first place due to the goodwill of other people's characters. Her mandate was deeply fueled by the character of the flag bearer, the face of the party that she came under, the Labour Party. So we were expecting some kind of, you know, honesty, some level of impartiality and uprightness from her. But a lot of people felt that they were disappointed by the way she handled it. They felt that she was either too neutral or even tilting towards being against Senator Natasha. Senator Ireti has released a statement where she said, she titled it, "My Unwavering Stance for Justice and Women's Rights." She said, "I would like to state to all Nigerians that I am aware of the public dismay and I would like to address a few things officially. First, I would like to assure Nigerians that I will be at the forefront to champion the sexual harassment case involving my colleague, Senator Natasha Akpoti-Uduaghan, when the investigation comes to the Red Chamber. I am aware of the narrative that has been going around, and to set the record straight, my actions were not to undermine her claims, but to buttress that I was not aware in the first place of any such happenings. Notwithstanding, I remain steadfast in the fight against all forms of violence against girls and women." And she went ahead to say, over the years, sexual harassment and assault has become commonplace. She said a lot. It almost seemed like, like guilt was eating the best of her. And this is exactly what we were expecting well-reasoning senators and people alike to do. Nobody's saying immediately condemn Senator AKPABIO or immediately believe Senator Natasha. We were expecting a level playing ground. Neutrality, fairness, acknowledge the possibility, not the occurrence. We were expecting sensible statements like, oh yes, there is nobody that is above sexual assault, and it happens to the best of us. It can happen in the office, at home, at the workplace, everywhere. So it is good that an investigation is launched to determine the authenticity of this claim. I believe that our women and girls should be protected at whatever position they find themselves. These are the kinds of statements now that would have had our blood boiling to know that we have sensible people leading us. Not Senator Natasha is a liar. This one that I don't know who this person is, but if this is your father, oh my God. I'm praying for you in my prayers every day. Not coming out to say, it is a lie, she's a liar. Senator AKPABIO can never. He can never. She's a thief. She's a prostitute. She's a blackmailer. God. So what Senator Ireti did was what she's supposed to have done a long time ago. But now it seems like an afterthought and a lot of people are not buying it. What do you think about Senator Ireti coming to her senses to take this stand? Do you believe that it's a good development, or do you believe that it's good riddance to bad rubbish, that this is an afterthought and it is already too late? What are your thoughts? Drop down in the comment section. In our next video, we're going to go deeper into this recall, what the law says, everything. It's going to be very deep and educative. You do not want to miss that for anything. So if you're new here, you're seeing me for the first time, or if you've been watching without subscribing, don't forget to hit the subscribe button, give this video a big thumbs up, drop all your comments down in the comment section, and stay glued, for we have so much more coming your way. It's me, your girl Barrister Neze, and this is Nezeville. I'll see you guys in my next one. For now, bye. Bye.